Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh on Sunday the 28th of September 2025 with FLOSSTUBE number 286. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch and your weekly dose of random. So it's Sunday, I'm not sure what time it is. A, I've got a bag on the bench that is covering the clock. B, wearing my reading glasses, my computer glasses. C, haven't changed the clock. Anyway, daylight saving started, and while I'm looking forward to, longer, lighter evenings, I do not transition well. So that being said, I was awake quite early. That being said, I'm usually awake quite early because I haven't slept all night, a solid night, so I never know. Anyway, got up. No, I didn't get up. Woke up early. Finished a book I didn't finish last night because my eyes kept closing. And then got up, cooked myself some eggs, which I haven't had for ages because who can afford eggs? And then did some stitching, and I've just been watching some episodes of Taskmaster New Zealand, which isn't too bad. It's not as good as Taskmaster proper. It's way better than Taskmaster Australia, in my humble opinion. But here I am, here to give you your little update. Did I do anything this week? Went into town on Wednesday, went and worked from the office on Wednesday, because I had a couple of appointments. And pretty much got to read a book because I caught a slightly later train. So I caught a still peak, but one of the non-express trains, equals sort of 2 extra chapters. Got to my nurse appointment half an hour early, but she could see me early because someone else didn't turn up. So I got to read a little bit waiting for that, and then got to read probably for half an hour at lunchtime because I didn't have anyone that I wanted to sit down with and talk to at lunch. And then I had my hair appointment like late in the afternoon, so I got to read for 2.5 hours while I was at the hairdresser's, and then got to read on the train home. So basically I got a good extra, what's that, let's say 5.5 hours of reading in on Wednesday, and that meant I was able to whip through a novel, so I was very happy with that. And yesterday I met one half of my scrappy friends pair. Unfortunately, poor Katie wasn't feeling too good, so she stayed home, which was good of her not to pass on any bugs she might have. But I caught up with my friend Tracy. We just had a scone and a cuppa at Pravda. Pravda is a very, like I said, long-standing, is that the right word? Pravda has been an institution in Wellington as long as I've been there, I think, and I've been in Wellington coming up 27 years, and they do very good cheese scones. I had cheese and jalapeno scone. She was spicy, and then we just wandered around the streets. We both did a little bit of shopping. I did a little bit too much shopping, but things that were on my list apart from one thing, which I'll show you. I'm going to show you anyway. We had a lovely day. Then I dropped you home after we had another stop for a refreshment. I had a cold drink, and we both had a sweet treat for the afternoon. And then dropped you home, had a little catch up, and then I went home via the supermarket. And that was, I think I left home at like 9, just after 9, maybe 10 past 9, and I got home at about 4 o'clock maybe. I think I talked to my sister. I rang her on the way home because I often ring people from my car because kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And we chatted for a little bit. For daylight saving now, we're 3 hours ahead of Queensland because Queensland, Australia doesn't do daylight saving. So now it's 3 hours, and it's just summer sucks trying to keep in touch with my sister. Of course, I'm going over there for a few days in November for when my nephew's wedding is, and I'm not gonna be there long enough to get used to it. I'm gonna be long enough to just be tired for 4 days and then come back. that's how it is. So yeah, that's pretty much my week. Week coming up, got a couple more appointments, like got a hygienist appointment. So I've just, probably book a friend for lunch because I'll be in the city on Wednesday. I don't think I have any other plans this week, which to be fair will be fine because, I got plenty to do at home. So I'm going to show you some non-stitchy haul just because it's really cute. Anyway, so yesterday I went down to Unity Books because when I'm going over to Australia in November, I figured I'll just take a Christmas gift for my great nephew. I only give presents to the kids in the family when they're kids, once they're of a reasonable age. I don't. My auntie has to think about her retirement. But with my great nephew, I'm going to be the same as I did with my nieces and nephews, as I give them books. If they need anything, like if they needed, I don't know, I might buy something cute if I found a really cute outfit, but they're in Australia, and what are they going to wear in summer? Like a singlet and a nappy? It's going to be so freaking hot. So I usually just buy books because I'm all about reading. I don't tend to buy toys unless it's Lego. At 5 months, what my great nephew will be, what is it now? He just turned 5 months, so October, November, so it's going to be 8 months at Christmas, so whatever. So I bought him some books later on. Yeah, pretty much that's it. I just encourage literature, and I love good books. Anyway, I bought this cute one, so it's a Kiwi book, Pukiko, and it's really funny. Like it's who'll help us. I mean, I thought it was like kind of full of bad dad jokes, but around Pukiko. So like, I don't know, I'll give you an example. It says, who'll help us solve a mystery? It must be you, Kiko. But be warned, the Pukiko rhyming is very contagious. So like, what do you say when the adults step in and save the day? Phew, Kiko. It's so dumb, it's funny. What do you call a Pukiko with binoculars? View Kiko. I don't know. I just giggled away at the shop. So I went to Unity Books. So Unity Books is like a independent bookstore. There's a couple. Was it Wellington and Auckland? It's Auckland and yeah. Unity Books. The locals know it. If you're a book person, you know it. They just have lovely books. So got that one for little grandnephew. Another Kiwi one is Sleep Little Kiwi Sleep, which is really lovely. It's got lovely illustrations. I know that baby's way too young for these, but yeah, it has beautiful illustrations, and it references a whole lot of other New Zealand birds as well. And weta, which are, great big weta. It's just really pretty. So anyway, I got that one for him. And then this one is not a New Zealand author, but it is called The Grand Hotel of Feelings. And it kind of tickled me because it reminded me of the Grand Budapest Hotel, which, I do enjoy. I do enjoy that movie, and it's just, visually lovely. But it's, welcome to the Grand Hotel of Feelings, where all kinds of feelings come and stay. Every guest has unique needs. Anger, for example, is very loud and needs plenty of space to scream and shout. Sadness speaks in a small voice and occasionally floods the bathroom. Gratitude likes wandering about in nature. You never know when she might come and sit by your side. Some feelings are big and some are small, some are fun and some are tricky, but no feeling is ever turned away. At the Grand Hotel of Feelings, there is room for everyone. And it's just really lovely kind of talking through different feelings, and again has really, really lovely illustrations. A lovely sort of painterly style. It says here, a review, a great book to share to develop an awareness of the language of feelings, but told in a really lovely, gentle way. So yeah, I got those three. So 3 books to go over. So because I'm flying over anyway, save postage, because postage, as you all know, is horrendous. Just sent a letter to Australia, a letter, 2 pieces of paper folded up in a standard envelope, $4 to send a letter to Australia. And it's cheaper, it's more expensive to send it to a country that's not Australia. So I think it's $2.80 to send a letter if I wanted to post a letter to my neighbour, it would cost me $2.80. I wouldn't post my letter to a neighbour. My letter to a neighbour? I probably wouldn't post my letter to a neighbour. And, unless I was like suing them or something, but I'm not going to sue my lovely neighbours. Honestly, Sandy, I'm not suing you. And then a luxury, my friend, oh my God, I've gone completely blank. Who was I with? Tracy and I, we popped into T2, which is a lovely tea boutique, and they have lovely teas, but they have beautiful tea cups and pots and all sorts of beautiful things that I don't need. But they had they have an Advent, and I decided that I'm going to drink a cup of tea every day in December, or for 24 days. This is beautiful Advent. So it's called, obviously, T2, the brand, Cabinet of Curiosity. I love this sort of Art Nouveau sort of style, I don't know, just cabinet. On the back of it, it talks about all the different kinds of tea. There's only 4 teas in there that have any calories. It says there are 4. There's the Green Rose, Paxa Peach, Sticky Date Delight. I'm not sure about that tea, but we'll give it a crack. And Sweetest Dream. So 4 of them have some calories, like 30 kilojoules, 7 calories. But the rest of them are just teas, so have none. And yeah, let your curiosity be stirred with 24 days of tea. Open each cabinet door, what you see inside, and discover a new flavour. The hand-picked curation of bold black, fresh green, sweet fruit, comforting rooibos, and soothing herbal teas and tisanes are bound to bring 24 magical tea moments into your daily routine. So yeah, got an explanation of all the different kinds of teas on the back. There are 2 I don't like it. I don't love Earl Grey. We'll try it. There's an Earl Grey, and then there's a French Earl Grey. I don't know what's different about the French one. Just other crap in it. It's got rose petals in it. Should I show you the cabinets? It is a beautiful quality. Like, this is not thin card. It is. But I'll show you. I got to open it up. Look at that. Oh my God. So they had someone display like this. It's like, even if I never opened it, they're so beautiful. So I'm going to have to try and open it really carefully. And then next year I can just shove some Dilmah bags in them. But no, it's stunning. And I just love all the, curios and the various shells. And sorry, Australia, the mushroom lady. Mushrooms are so triggery now. If someone invites me around, he goes, oh, like, my friend made a beef bourguignon, it had mushrooms in it, and I went, where did you get these mushrooms from? Like, I have anxiety about mushrooms, because for anyone who doesn't know, the Kiwis, Australians for sure know about the mushroom lady who recently was found guilty for murder and attempted murder of some ex-in-laws. She had ex-in-laws around for dinner and served them a beef Wellington that she made and in the mushroom duxelle, the paste, the mushroom paste you put around the beef, she had sourced and dehydrated herself death cap mushrooms, and so I'm terrified of mushrooms now. Anyway, isn't it beautiful? So very excited about that. I don't usually do advents and things, but I'm not going away this year. So I figured I will give myself a little treat, and my friend Tracy bought one as well. So we're gonna open them together and share our tea and stuff. But yeah, it's just really lovely. Anyway, do I need it? No. Did I want it? Yes. Did I buy it? Yes. So that is my shop. I bought a few other little bits and pieces that I needed. A couple of cards for some birthdays coming up, and a couple of candles, like the beeswax. What do you call them? Just standard candles, tapers. You've seen a beeswax taper, I'm sure. There's nothing particularly special other than I wanted beeswax taper. So that was my non-stitchy stuff. I'm sure you'll forgive me for showing you some pretty things that are nothing to do with stitching. But anyway, I enjoy, hey look, we helped the economy. And and there were a lot of people in town, but it is a well weekend, so World of Wearable Arts. So there are lots of ladies out and about doing shopping, and probably come to town for the weekend or Friday night and Saturday and stuff. So there were lots of people out. Like every shop we went into was far busier than I said. Oh, even the Lego shop, it was absolutely packed, and every shop we went into was busy, which is really good, I guess, given recession. Okay, so I did some stitching. I stitched on 4 things, and first up, most of the week I just could not put this down, and you may recall this was my start so this was start number 8 for Stash Sampler Start. So Margaret Thomas by Willow Brook Needleworks. It's a reproduction sampler that I then pulled together my own palette. I used a mix of silks and cottons and I also personalized it for my Nana Ibby. And I also changed, I didn't necessarily stitch, colour A, where colour A might be either, because for lots of reasons. Sometimes I just didn't want that much brown, or my pale colour, like these C's up here are really pale, and I have used that pale colour in other parts of the chart. Like there's some of it down here, and there's a row of it somewhere, but I just did not want those random 2 C's to be pale. So I stitched them in the bright red, because the bright red had stopped around here and I wanted to bring a bit more up. So I just changed it a little bit. Like up here, there's kind of three straight rows. One of them I broke up, I'll show you kind of. So I kind of went a little bit random at times. It also has a couple of letters where she changed, obviously the original stitcher, Margaret, when she was 11, she changed colours halfway through the letter. So there's a couple of examples. Where? Call me a liar. So, for example, it's probably hard to see, but there's a K up here. This K here is half lavender and then half peachy colour. And then there is, I don't know why she did, and this one was the H. The little H down here again is half, whatever that colour was, half the dark colour and then half of a berry kind of raspberry. So I just stitched the H in one of the colours, the darker colour. So I just didn't do that. So that is that. I guess I should show you my card. I stitched mine on 40 count Merino. It's one of a favourite colour from Country Stitch. And I again used a mix of silk and cotton, mostly silks for you, some Tom and Lily, 1 or 2 weeks dye works, and a couple of Victorian motto, e.g. the bright red was a Victorian motto, Oh Scarlet. And I started it last Friday last Saturday on the 20th of September, Friday night, whatever the 20th was. And you can see there that I finished it on the 26th. It's not a start and finish, because for me, a start and finish has to go over like 2 videos. It has to be only on 1 video, right? I started and finished it between videos. So Sunday afternoon through to Sunday morning, it would be a start and a finish. I started this on whatever the 20th was, and I finished it on Friday. Yeah, Friday. And I love it so much. She's so pretty. I just couldn't put it down. It was just such a delight. I mean, it's only a little sampler. It was such a delight. Last time you saw it, I had done those flowers, I think. I can't remember if I'd done that row or not. I can't remember. I know I did the flowers, and I'm not sure there. Here's the personalization. So mine is for my great grandmother on my mother's maternal side. So she was Susan Elizabeth, but known to her family as Bessie Ibbotson, but she was born Foskett, so Nee Foskett. She was born in 1989 and died in 1991. So she's 102, coming up 103. So that's for my, and this is a very, I don't know, kind of nannery colours, right? Kind of think of nanas wearing pastels and then, but I just love the pops of red in it. So what else is different? So that personalisation is different. This one here I made like that one. It had a different colour pot. It had the same, the stem was the same colour as the pot. This one was different, so I made that the same. Personalisations is different. Some of these flowers, the hue of colours I changed. I changed quite a few of these letter colours. This one here is charted. It has a couple of things on the outside, like up here. This one here, it's only charted for 2 colours. I did it in 4. This colour here, this one here was meant to be this brown, the brown, variegated brown I'm using. I changed that to the kind of, I guess, whatever this colour is, because it sort of stopped about here, so I just pulled a bit more up. That was charted in the peachy colour, changed it to a lavender. Those were charted for just 2 solid lines. I broke them up. Heaps and heaps of changes. I love it. So happy with it. And that's one of my stash sampler starts in the bag. Started and finished within 2 weeks. Within 6 days. But I love it. So really happy with that. I could not stop. Louisa got my hashtag stash sampler start number 1. Louisa Coulimore from Hands Across the Sea. She got a little bit more love. I'm not really doing 1 thread a day, but I am doing more than 10 thread. I'm doing like 10 threads a week at least. So I'm definitely doing the equivalent of 1 thread a day. So last time I showed you this, I'd done that crown. She is on 56 Camp Grunard linen from the Wee Linen Company, and I'm using Gütermann silk. And I think the way I'm going, I think there's a good chance I'll have this finished before the Christchurch retreat. I'm pretty sure the way Narissa's stitching, she'll have hers finished before the Christchurch retreat, and Judith is making great progress as well. So good chance we might all have it done by the Christchurch retreat. We're all stitching this and stitch along together. That's where I'm at now. So what did I stitch on? As I talked about last week, I carried on to fill in this little gap. So I got these 2 little bands done there and this one here. So I've just got 2 other little squiggly ones to fill in, and then I'm about 2/5, a bit over 2/5 done. So loving it. They were quick to do, those little repetitive ones. If you look closer, you can see here where I'm only half a stitch away, because that's where this one's, make it fits not quite right, but this is in the right place and those are in the right place. That's just half a 1 thread too high, but it's fine. So happy with progress on that one. Then last week I showed you that one of the threads I had missing for my Garden Club series had turned up. So I carried on with Tulip and Lily to get that finished. This is my September stitch for the Garden Club, which I'm doing 1 part a month. I had to do 1.5 this month because I ran out of the colour and I didn't stitch in August. So it's this one here. What is it called? Tulip and Lily. My piece is on 40 count, I'm doing it all on 40 count linen that I dyed, and using, I'm going to say mostly the called for threads, because I stitched those flowers and then I went and I realised I didn't have dungarees, or if I do have dungarees, I don't know where it is. So the blue in the flowers is meant to be in dungarees, and I was like, I'm not ordering another bloody thread. So I just found I think a Tom and Lily that will do, and I've just popped that in the place where dungarees would be. But here I am. So here we go, 9 months in, 3 to go. As you can see, mine is lovely and bright and fresh. It's just, I think, the fact that I'm not taking a photograph in a dark cupboard like I think Blackbird does. Dye lots, my fabrics are different. So that's the bit I finished there. So the blue in these flower petals is not dungarees, it's just a blue from my stash. But it's there is satin stitch in those flowers. It's just that it's a variegated thread and one of them is darker than the other, but I have satin stitch it, and there's satin stitch. There's a lot of satin stitch in Blackbird like satin stitch, and they like eyelets, and they like Smyrna crosses. So if you don't like those things, you can always fill it in. You don't have to stitch them. But I like eyelets and Smyrna crosses. I like the look of satin stitch. I don't enjoy doing it as much. These little bits of satin stitch are fine. They give it a little sheen. So it was the colour I needed, that old mountain. I could just look on the bloody chart, couldn't I? Right here. What was the colour I needed? Country redwood. So country redwood that I'd been waiting for was that little flower there and that little centre there. Could I have found something from my stash? Probably. But anyway, happy with that. I'm going to use that for my screen grab. Let's just hold it there for a minute. Ta-da! So that's a progressive finish. And then of course I had my last stash sampler start for this year. Which for me was start number 9, and it's a Theron Traditions chart. I hate stickers being left on, but I cannot get that off this. Maybe I can. I picked this up, I think I picked this one up, I can't remember if it was second hand or off a freebie table. I got the sticker off. I hate stickers being left on things. So it was this Theron Traditions chart called the Industrious Bee Sampler. Which I don't think, again, probably I wrote down that it was circa 1992 probably. I don't know where I got that from. Maybe I found 1992 somewhere because I wrote in brackets 1992. I'm stitching mine. I had a change of fabric actually. I had originally pulled a 35-ish count linen that I dyed myself, which was quite a dark kind of army green, and then I looked at the chart and there's quite a lot going on in it. You've got this is the main reason I changed it, queen stitches on 36, which has been dyed. It is a bit tighter, closer to probably 38 count. I don't love doing queen stitches, so I was like, it's charted for 32 count. So with the queen stitches, herringbone not so bad on the smaller. There's the cushion satin stitch, which I might not even do. I'll talk about that in a minute. And one of those, just cross stitch with colonial knots on top. Like, again, do we need to do that? I don't know. I haven't even looked at where they are. Quite a lot going on, plus all of that over one. I decided, Leigh, let's not do it on that tight 35 count. Also, I did pull my floss, and the greens, so the two greens in the petals, were one of them, the darker one was going to blend in too much. So I went through, had a quick look on my 32 count, found a couple of options. So I changed my fabric to a fibre on a whim. I think it's one I picked up from, All Threads when I went there in June. So it's I swapped that out for a 32 count oatmeal linen from Fibre on a Whim. And so that means, of course, I'm stitching it. So yay for the specialty stuff, and it's definitely going to be less painful to do all of that over one. Definitely going to be less painful for the queen stitches. If I do the cushion satin stitch, I'll be using 2 strands, so they'll be nice and plump, but again, I might change them. It's quite a lot of, the cushion, there's a lot of them. So the cushion satin stitches are all these little blocks around the edge, and I don't want to do that many of them, so I'm thinking about changing them to do Smyrna crosses, because I love a Smyrna cross. It's going to use a similar amount of fabric, similar amount of thread, and I'd just much rather do Smyrna crosses because they're just so much more fun. You're still going to get that same little blocky effect, so I'm probably going to do that. just because I want this to be more fun, and I don't enjoy doing satin stitch, especially on the angle where I'll cock it up and have to pull it out because it's diagonal. I just enjoy a smooth across, so I'm probably going to do smooth acrosses. But of course I have to use 2 strands because I'm on 32 count, which is less fun than 1, but it's going to give it, you know, I have so many samplers in my stash that are done on 35, 36, 40 that actually it's quite nice when you then think about one day winning lotto and putting them all on the wall. That I would like, you know, a variety of scales. So you've got some big ones with some really fine ones. It is what it is. Anyway, here's my start. I got quite a good start on it, and I started it last night, after I got home, after I had dinner. So a late start, but it looks, because it's on 32 count, it looks more than it kind of is, but you know me, needles on fire, blah, blah, blah. And then I did quite a bit this morning. That's where we're at. Oh, fold this for a close-up. I've got a fat 8-ish. It's a really weird cut, I think. It's cut off. I don't remember if I cut it off. I don't remember, but it's only going to use sort of just over half of this fabric, which, yay, plenty of fabric for something else. I do enjoy being able to get 2 things out of a piece of work. So what have I done? The pot. I don't love the pot. The colours are a bit weird, a bit funky, but I think once I get the flowers filled in and all the other crap, and then some of these colours elsewhere, I think it'll be fine. They are a little bit weird. If I'd thought about it, I might not have put that blue in. I could pull the blue, but of course I've anchored some of the other colours into the blue. So that's going to be a pain. My back. But I'll leave it till later. I'll make a decision before I stitch the other side. I think by the time all the other stuff is in, I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm probably going to finish this bit. So that's up to the top. And then I will come in, do the middle bit, like get all the frame in, and then I'll do the other border. So what have I done? I've done, the pot's finished, all of the leaves are filled in and finished. And I've just done the outlines of the flowers. So each of those flowers has 2 or 3 colours still to come in. And then there is a butterfly, it goes up here. But I only pulled the colours for these, so it's like 6 colours. So I'm probably fill the flowers in. I'm just gonna leave them for now. I might fill them in. I just haven't pulled those colours. But yeah, that's how big that's how high it is. I'm really happy with it. My arms are gonna fall off. Oh God. Oops. So really good start for that one there. Really happy with it. We're at the end of the month, so we've only got a couple more days. Tomorrow's the 20. Oh no, it's the 28th. Yeah, today's the 28th. Yeah, 28th. Tomorrow would be my dad's 81st birthday, so you know it's his 2nd birthday because he didn't quite make 80. And then on Tuesday, my eldest sibling, they are turning. What year were they born? 93. So they will be turning 32. Is that how maths works? Yeah, 32. Amazing. So that's my sister's eldest. And I still haven't stitched either of my, because we're focusing on all the sampler starts and the quintessential small starts. I didn't finish any of the quintessential stuff. It's in a basket, and I did iron everything. So it's all been cut and ironed in. It's in a basket ready for me to sit down and do the finishing, but I just didn't get to that this week. But I haven't stitched either of my leap year cells. So the focus this week is probably going to be on getting caught up for September, and I'll probably just keep doing October to get the September, so 2 months each in on the 2 leap year cells, and then I don't know what else. Around the first will be starting on the next quintessential Frisian small, but that's quite a lot more stitching than the last 2, so probably will be still stitching. Yeah, it's enough to do for this week, I think. Right, I'm going to show you a few previous finishes. I actually got quite a few, but because they're all one designer and I've used the same sort of fabric. Hopefully I can whip through them, but I did go to the point of ironing them. So what I've dragged out are my Carolyn Manning finishes. So I have quite a few Carolyn Manning finishes and one fully finished. So I'm going to whip through them. So just to show you, they're quite different in styles. So I've got 3 of the It Takes a Village collection finished. I do have 2 more. There are 5 in the collection. I've got 2 more to do. The Halloween one and the original It Takes a Village one. They're all 3 of them are stitched on 28 carat Lugana from Country Stitch using the called for DMC. The only change I made was on the Christmas one, where instead of French knots I just used some beads for the little lights and things. So they're not in any particular order. In fact, these are probably in the order of the most recent finished. So we had, first of all, Birdie Boulevard, and the fabric is Little Boy Blue. And this one I finished not long ago in June. And here it is. And these are all eventually, when I get all 5 finished, I'm going to be finishing them as large cushions, and they'll just sit on like a chair in a spare room or something. So there's Birdie Boulevard, all the birdhouses. This one was a really fun one and a really quick one. Once I sort of focused on it, she was a quick one to stitch. Really pretty fabric. Again, Little Boy Blue from Country Stitch. This is on Lugana, so the fabric will look different on Aida or linen, as every dye does. Gingerbread Village, I finished this in just before Christmas in 2023. This was a stash. This was a 50 at 50 start. It was my 50th start for my 50 at 50. This one is on another blue by Country Stitch, Forget Me Not Blue. And this is the one where there are beads. And this is the one which is the most pain in the ass, because doing all those little, random white, first of all, stitching with white socks, then especially stitching with 2 strands of white socks, then floating white in the sky socks and little individual snowflake stitches socks. But where are the beads? I forgot there were beads until I whacked the iron on it, and probably, knowing me, crushed some. Like, for example, in that wreath, there are some beads, and in the Christmas tree, there are beads. Where's the Christmas tree? In that house there's a string of lights. So there's little beads just dotted all over it. Some green and red and got like kind of a goldy yellow. Anyway, that one's really pretty. So that was Gingerbread Village. The first one I ever stitched way back in 2020 was Fairy Square, and this is on Summer Coral Lugana. Unfortunately, this colour, I love the colour that I got here. I've ordered it since, and it comes out way too green. Unfortunately, Catherine just said it's just so hard to get the colour. It just doesn't come out like this. If you do this colour, you'll not get this colour. It doesn't come out like this anymore. It's a lot more green. But I absolutely love this colour. If I could get this colour, I would be so happy. So this is Fairy Square. So this one's because you've got a lot of shaping of it, because you're rounding all those bloody mushrooms. This is before the mushroom lady killed all their in-laws. And of course when I do shape, I stitch the partial stitches, whereas the chart, I think, didn't necessarily do that. So you just have to think a little bit harder. But I love how it's quite organic, even though it was a pain to stitch. But yeah, I love this one as well. So yeah, they're all different enough. I think the original It Takes a Village, that's quite blocky because of course it's just standard houses. And then the Halloween one is, I think it's got a little bit more dynamic, I can't remember, but I don't usually do Halloween, but I'm a completist, so I had to do the set. And also it's really lovely, and I've got a lovely violet fabric for that, so it's going to be fun to stitch it. I don't know when probably next year I'll do one of them. Then I've got so 2 of the, I forgot what they're called now, Shooting Star collection. So I've got Sunrise and Sunset. These are both on fabrics. They're both on 20 count Aida dyed from Tom and Lily. So we've got corail, I don't know how to say, my French is, I understand it better than I can say it. Coral basically is the sunset, and sunrise is soleil, so the sun. I picked them up off of Etsy way back. So sunrise is on the yellow one. That is, I was really cheap with cards. I started that on the 22nd of December 2020, and I didn't finish it until 25th of February 22. Sunset, I started on the 12th of January 2021, and I finished it on the 30th of August 2022. So it's these two, they go together. I do love them. So here's sunrise. I love, these are therapy stitching them. I don't have one on the go. I need to get one on the go. I've got some, I'm going to stitch it might be a New Year's start. I'm going to stitch the Celtic series. I've got like the Celtic mythology, and I'm going to Scotland Island next year. So I think maybe that's a year, and I'm going to stitch them big. Unlike me, I'm stitching them on 14 count Aida, so I can do like actual cushions. So I probably might even do 3 strands. Talk about chew through the fabric, but I'm going to start one of them. There you go, I'm going to start one in January. So what was I talking about? This is on Soleil. Isn't it beautiful? Love it. And then the sister to that is Sunset. This is the coral, and isn't it, it's just like this, so edible. I just want to chew this up. The color is so delicious that it makes my mouth water because I'm weird like that. And then so they're the 2 shooting stars. I also have a broken star, which is very dusty. Let me dust it on my leg. This is a fully finish. This is the first one I did. So the broken star they're not symmetrical basically. So it's a collection of similar designs, but rather than being symmetrical and mandala-esque, they're more kind of patchworky, random. So I've got Thistle, which is on 28 count Brittany, but over 1. So I love how little it is, but it's too slow. I don't enjoy stitching over 1 on 28 count. I enjoyed the finish though. So this I started, oh my gosh, I started in the 5th of October 2019, and I finished it on the 21st of August 2020, and then I FFO'd it. Yes, it's an FFO that I did myself. 28th of February 2022. I did a big finishing. So that's found a, it fits, when stitching it over 1 on 28 count, it fits in a 6x6 frame. So it's a 6x6 window. I think it's a 7x7 frame, and it's adorable and it's so pretty. So that's called Thistle, and it's the wrong way. Oh no, is it the right way? No, it's that way. That's the right way. It doesn't really matter, only because that's where the stand is. It goes that way. Oh, that's a completely different picture now. So it's that one there, and I've got 2 more to show you. This chart was a lovely rack, a surprise gift from Chris Kinde. She's been so generous and sent me some lovely things over the years, and she does a lot of model stitching and finishing of things, so often her name pops up on, I couldn't even tell you one designer right now, but you see it and go, oh, Chris stitched it. I get so excited. So Chris sent me this chart, and it was signed by Carolyn. She'd been to a retreat and got Carolyn to personalise it for me. And this is one of her, what does she call this style? Can't remember now. It's got, I'll put it on here if I didn't, where you've got, it nearly came to me. It's like about a tent maker. It's one of her Egyptian tent makers. I don't know, they're based on a certain style of I guess embroidery, or I haven't really looked into it, but it's the style of it is tent. So I love the graphic nature of it, and that baked it. I didn't even tell you what it's called. My god, 10,000 Lakes by Carolyn Manning Designs. It's on 18 count Aida. The colour Sage or Celadon. It's sold under 2 different names depending on where you get it, or whether you buy it pre-packaged or off the bolt, I believe. And then finally, as this video goes up to 50 minutes, this one's a bit random. It's my grandma's jewellery box sale, and god, I could not find where this was. It's in my finishing basket. I do have a basket now of things I need to finish, and this is going to be finished into 12 ornaments. So I stitched them quite far apart on a large piece of 32 count antique white linen. So I got, using mostly the Chartered DMC, I changed a couple where I went to get it and I couldn't find the colour. I knew it was in another project, so I just grabbed a different shade because who cares. And I used a whole bunch of my own beads and metallics because I got so much in stash from all the mirrors and things that I've stitched over the years. So I didn't buy anything for it. Some of mine look similar and some of mine look very different. And they're gonna be made into little ornaments. But I was like, I'll get them made into ornaments that year. It was a sale, so I started in January 23 and I finished it mid-December 23 after the last one came out. I usually stitched it on or around the day the chart was released. And yeah, they're really pretty. They are not, I think you can still buy the chart as a standalone chart now. You can stitch them a bit closer together as like one thing. You could change the colours, you could pick like a colour scheme and do them all like mono, like tonal. So much you could do with them, and they're just really pretty. And I need to do something with them. Oh my gosh, I have the skills, I just don't want to do it. I want it done, I just don't want to do it. So those are all I think that's all my Carolyn Manning. There might be, I think that's all my Carolyn Manning. I have no whips currently, but again, as I talked about, I want to start working on the Celtic, and it's 6, they're 6, and they're all kind of muddy colours, which, you know, I love colour. So I'm going to start on them. Yeah, I'm going to start on one in January. I'm not going to get all 6 stitched next year. There's a lot of stitching in one of those. But yeah, 6, and they're on, yeah, all on. I've got all the 14 count. I've gone with coloured Ada, 14 count. Do I need coloured? No, but I don't like stitching on white. So and if I make them into cushions, I'm going to want a little bit of a border. So I want to see the fabric showing through. I'm not going to sew right up to the edge of it. So I bought mostly Whitchilt, I think, Ada, from 123 Stitch a while ago. They've just been sitting, I probably didn't show you. I better wrap it up because this is a long one. No idea what time it is. I'm hungry. I probably should have something to eat because it's probably like 2 o'clock or 1:30. I don't know. I almost forgot. I got some happy mail. I got an actual letter in the mail yesterday. No, I didn't. I got a postcard in the mail, and it's so much fun. It's from Stitchy Sally. Thank you, Sally. I need to say thank you. I haven't even messaged you. I watched your video last night, but I haven't even messaged you or commented. It's my first piece of mail with King Charles on it, so that's, I guess, a thing. How do I show you without showing the address and the words? Oh, here we go. England isn't going to give much away. Look, it's King Charles on a postcard. Should I show you the postcard? Yorkshire, Hornsey, Lakeland by the Sea, Northeastern Rail. It's just a vintage sort of advertising postcard, and it's so much fun. I will reply, Sally. I'm really my to-do list to send mail is so long, but I need to start chipping away at that. You're added to the list, so thank you so much, Sally. Made my day. I mean, I had a lovely day yesterday, but I got home and I actually had a postcard in the mail, which was, I always appreciate. Okay, thanks for coming along, and in advance, thank you for all your lovely comments. I anticipate lovely comments because you never fail to deliver. I appreciate you, and I do hope you find joy in your stitching. And as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.